This is my 1984 Isuzu Impulse, and it's been inside of a garage almost as long as I've been alive. And today, we're gonna bring it back to life. But what does it take to get a car driving for the first time in 30 years? Especially one with zero aftermarket support, no title, and barely any information online on how to fix it? Well, today we're gonna find out, and I'm getting help by my best friend, Diehl. Hello. Welcome to Donut. For a really long time, Isuzu was only known for their trucks, buses, and other commercial vehicles. And even though they had built their first passenger car in 1961, that part of their business wasn't doing so well. So in 1978, they called in the big guns, Grajeda at Idle Design. Grajeda ended up with this, a prototype known as the Ace of Clubs. And that debuted on the floor of the Tokyo Auto Show. And people loved it. It only took Isuzu executives 48 hours to greenlight it for production, and it was dubbed the Isuzu Piazza. The first Piazza rolled off the production line in 1980, and then 3 years later, it was introduced to the United States as the Impulse. Oh, yeah. Good job.
Good job.
This is why I travel with you.
Way to steer.
It's nice to have another big boy. A lot of times at Donut, I'm the only one. You might remember the Impulse from a previous episode of Real Mechanic Stuff.
Wait. You put the brake on, right? You put the battery on?
And since then, I've actually done a lot more work to it. I bled the brakes, made sure they weren't seized. I did the fuel pump, I did the fuel filter, air filter, cleaned up a bunch of rat poop.
And you did get it started, right?
I did get it started, but it's not ready to drive, and there's no point in owning a cool car if it doesn't drive. Yeah. Here's the plan. I need to fix the brakes. The brakes aren't done yet, I just made sure they work. I also need to replace some bushings because they magically melted. There's the springs and the shocks, they're all individual, they need to be replaced, as well as the gas tank. That's one of our major hurdles. It's clogged, it's rusty, it's unusable right now. There's also one more big major thing, and that is the title. I bought it without a title. I do have proper paperwork to get a title. Then there's the dreaded smog test. Car that's been sitting around for 30 years, probably not gonna pass smog. Final on the list, drive the car, because we wanna go on our cruise.
Exactly.
So what do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah, keep going. But even though the first generation Impulse was generally well reviewed and could hold its own next to the more expensive brands, it never really made it into the mainstream. Supposedly, Grajeda wanted to keep the Impulse intentionally unlike anything on the market. That's my kind of guy. Which meant that even though it was technically an affordable sports car, it was still priced a little bit higher than established competitors due to its customizations like Lotus tuned suspension and turbos and, cool stuff like that. So American buyers didn't really want to take a risk on it. They just didn't get it. Now I get it. Get these headlights real quick. Ready?
3, 2, go.
Justin, we don't have time for games.
Come on, man, it's sick. Look at the car. By the time the second generation of the Impulse hit the market in the 90s, the Impulse only lasted 3 more years before production stopped entirely. It's estimated that only 13,000 first and second generation models were built worldwide. And that's why I can't find a fuel tank. So there's virtually no aftermarket support for this vehicle.
Yeah.
That makes this a lot more difficult than most cars would be. Every part I've gotten for this has been an adventure.
Yeah, Justin's been having nightmares about
Hey,
this.
don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
Well, at least we're gonna start with something simple. We're just gonna start with the brakes.
Yes, the brakes. I do believe I have all of them.
In an age of dull f***ing wheels, some geniuses in a tire shop decided enough was enough. And so, Mother's Polish emerged, born from a single can of mag and aluminum polish. Designed to make dull aluminum shinier than a disco ball, it quickly dominated car shows and swap meets. By the 80s, Mothers were rock stars, pushing product up and down the SoCal coast out of the back of a van. Guys, we need a bigger van. Soon, they expanded their products, becoming the one-stop shop for every car need under the sun. By the 90s, Mothers was a household household name, but they wanted more. By the 2000s, Mothers had expanded to over 100 different products. Mothers wanted the whole vehicle to look like $1 million. Hey, your car, that's clean. Hey, that's a pretty clean car you got. Those are some clean cars. Today, Mothers is a leading name in the automotive care world. From humble beginnings in the back of a van to a showstopper at SEMA, Mothers is synonymous with excellence and innovation.
If you want your car to shine like new, use something with a trusted history. Use Mothers. To learn more, click the link below.
Oh, these wheels are so nice.
This is so light. Oh, this is such a tiny tire.
I see why Jimmy loves Miatas so much.
Yeah,
it's because he
easy
can
to
pick
work
up
on.
the parts. These rotors look pretty good. Should we even replace these pads? Probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, probably. Look at these pads. I need to fix that. Look at these pads. Look how old this box is.
Where did you get this?
I got this from Rock Auto. These are new old stock. That means they've been
my
on the
God.
shelf for a really long time. This is the original brake lube from 1990 something.
This is, by the way, literally feels like Laffy Taffy. Now, are these disc brakes all the same all the way around?
No,
They're
I actually
different
don't
sizes?
have the other ones.
Which other ones?
I don't know which one's which.
All right, so we got the wheels off, we got our parts out, but I
Yeah.
think it's about time that we quit for the day.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so here's what's going on. I don't have my front brake pads. When I tried to order them through Rock Auto, they would not enter the state of California. But here's the thing. There are auto parts store here in California, all the normal ones, right? They have gone through a process to get their parts approved to be here. So I've called and called and called 3 or 4 different types of auto parts stores. I'm on hold again. And some of them can special order these brake pads. It's an Isuzu. So because they're already in the state and already approved to be in the state, I can actually get them. 20 bucks? What level are they, like cheap as hell, or are they decent pads?
They're like semi-metallic. They're like brake pads.
Oh, that's great. O'Reilly's with the win. Thank you, man. All right, I'll be there.
All right, well, Justin's at the parts store. We're gonna get to work on some other stuff and kind of help get this process going. So, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing about owning weird cars. It's hard to find parts for them. So it's not always a bad thing because it depends on what you buy. When it comes to this Impulse, because Isuzu didn't change much for a really long time for a lot of their cars, they just reuse a lot of the same parts. This car is based off of a Chevy Chevette. It's a Chevette that went from South America to Italy to get designed, and then it went to Japan to be made after that. So this car shares a lot of parts from a lot of worldwide platforms. So
They're back.
all right.
You're good. Yeah, we just got these lug nuts off. They were like, something was wrong with them. And so we've been sitting here this whole time
No.
trying to get these ones to come off. You thought I
I
wasn't working?
literally just heard you zap those twice. And since this is a solid axle rear, the spring is just sitting here, and the shock is just sitting there. So all I gotta do is break it free. Oh. He's using power tools. What's wrong with this guy? Oh. Heyo! Where'd my bushing go? It flew all the way over there. These are the top of the shocks. I need a stick or something to hold this.
Just shove it down in there. Shove it down in there.
My paint, stop.
Gives
I do. Look at this old shock. If you want to test to see if a shock is good, you get some big muscles and then you go. All right, cool, that was pretty resistant, but then, yeah. It's pretty bad. Garbage. It'll be more consistent if I just lift that side.
It's not. Trust me, it's not.
I can take this lateral arm off, and that should allow the whole thing to come down more. Oh, look at that. The springs just fall out. Okay, so I know I've been saying that there's virtually no aftermarket for this thing. Well, almost. I was able to find some lowering springs straight from Japan. These are from a company called Zoom, and they're bright green. How did I get these? Jimmy actually knows a guy in Japan and ships a lot of his own JDM rare parts and wheels and stuff. So I hit Jimmy up and I was like, hey man, there's actually this company that makes springs for my car. And then his buddy goes, yeah, they have them in stock. It's like the last of 2 sets. How much to ship? Oh, 50 bucks. 50 bucks? Ship them. And then I got them in 2 days? I'm sure this explains something. I don't know what that is, but
I'm sure the instructions that came with these lowering springs aren't critical at all to the safety of your vehicle.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wow, that was easy.
Let down the jack a little bit.
Down?
Yeah.
Mine flew right in. What's taking you so long?
Where does this fit onto?
Just, huh?
Where does this fit onto?
You have the 2 up top. That's this.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the bottom sandwich. So you're making
Along
the-
with this bushing? I feel like we have an excess of pieces.
Are you sure you didn't grab one of the old ones?
No, I'm positive. This is what came out of the.
Oh, I think you got extra, because I don't have that much stuff.
You don't?
I don't have this. I have one.
But this is shaped differently.
All right, so Zach and I are in a disagreement on how something's supposed to go back together because we didn't look at it properly when it came apart.
And luckily,
So
we have the manual.
we do have a manual. A lot of new cars don't come with something like this. All right, so here's the top. So it does go washer, rubber, nut, nut. So yeah,
Told you.
I don't remember seeing one fall out. Here it is. I found my extra one because it was still in the box.
Told
I wonder what else is in here. Oh look, directions. Suspension on the rear, done.
That was easy.
Yeah, pretty easy. We're just fat and slow. You know, where'd that brake clean go so I can put this rotor on? Did you do the caliper yet? Okay, so we gotta figure out how to
Compress that? Well, do we have like a C-clamp or something like that?
channel locks. Ah, these aren't big enough. There's gotta be tools in here somewhere. Oh! Let's try it, let's try it. If only it was a twist one. Oh! Oh! They all laughed at me. Every single one of you.
Did it actually work?
They all laughed at me. Oh boy. All right. My side's done.
My side's done as well.
Sick.
Good stuff.
Shocks, springs, brakes, rotors, all done.
Okay.
On the rear.
Shocks and springs on the front, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Hey, you didn't catch your fingers this time.
Oh no, I was being very careful.
Bingo.
Done. Look at those eggs. Spider eggs. Okay. Let's see how this one feels. Ooh. Front ones are good. Front ones are rebounding pretty good.
So what you're saying is we didn't need to do any of this?
So, you might be wondering, why the heck are you in some driveway and not at the shop where all the tools are? Well, there's a thing called high-low being filmed,
And we're not leaving here until someone runs out of gas!
and there's not enough space for my car, and Nolan's car, and Tristan's car, and Jared's car.
All right, let's stop complaining. How the f does that go in there?
What is that connected to?
I don't know.
Oh. The upper control arm's only holding the knuckle. The spring perch actually goes to this frame.
I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna break this entire thing free or like.
So we should have read the book first. The disassembly process for the front suspension is compressing the coil spring.
Right.
So we should have compressed the coil spring first, then started loosening all those other bolts for the lower link, which is the lower spring perch control arm type thing. And then all of it would have fallen out. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need a spring compressor.
All right, let's break for lunch.
Yeah, lunch. Oh, you know what I do need to do? Sandro told me to dump the fuel out of that thing. Here, look, come up from where my head is. See all that crap?
This is what happens when you buy a car that's been sitting for 20 years. And then he never stops complaining about it. Besides the title and registration, this is our big issue. We can't just buy a new gas tank because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
So we need to actually fix this one, which means that we have to kind of cut these pipes off, get them cleaned out, re-welded in and everything. And welding a gas tank is pretty dangerous.
Yes, so Sandro told me to get as much as this awful dirty gas out of it and then fill it with water so that the gas fumes evaporate out so that when we cut into this, it won't explode.
Next step, take this to Sandro.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go.
All right, so you might be wondering, what exactly is wrong with this gas tank? Well, when a vehicle sits for 30 years and you leave fuel in it, it kind of ruins the tank, especially metal ones. And in this one in particular, it is an external fuel pump, so the pump has to pull the fuel from inside the tank through a straw, which is called a feed line. Well, my feed line is clogged. It's full of rust. And I was in the process of cleaning that out with some penetrant and some brushes, but one of the brushes broke off inside. And I cannot replace this at all. They don't make replacements. I don't think they ever made replacements. So unless I buy another car that's actually running and functioning, I might as well just drive that car. So I need to fix this. What do you got planned for us, Sandro?
My idea is cutting around this section right here, going all the way through, flop it up like that,
Yeah.
fix it,
Yeah.
and then either I solder this or I take this back on,
Yeah.
and then I cross my fingers that when we pressurize this bad boy, it doesn't leak. You don't want to use a grinder because you don't want to take material away. So you want to use a wire brush. Huh, show it.
All right, so that's a penny. That is 1 American cent. So someone's been in the tank already.
Yeah, let's just clean it out.
All right, just I think just add some there.
Yeah, give me that. Do more.
It holds itself really well. This man had a plan. That's why you come to Sandro. For the scary stuff.
Could double that. Sorry. Or we'll just cut them all. Whatever.
Well, that's busted.
You changing it, huh?
I guess we can now. Safe to say that wasn't screening much of anything. So my brush that I got stuck inside this tube is actually up here. That's all rust that I'm pushing up against. You're gonna have to blur this.
Ooh, hold on.
Look at that.
Slowly, slowly. Oh yeah, you give it. You go from the back.
It's getting stuck.
You pull from the. Wow, look at that.
All of this.
For that.
All of this because of that.
Just get up in there. Scaring yourself. There you go. So we're adding fire to break all the old fuel that's rusted in there.
Boiling out.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
That means there's air.
There you go. Very dangerous, kids. But fun at the same time. Break this out, watch your face. Ooh. Look at that, there you go.
Great. All right, so progress is going really good, except we have a slight holdup with this tank filter here. It's really just a screen to make sure all the particulates don't get sucked up into the fuel pump. It's a $5 part that's not really listed on any schematics or anything, but Toyota sells something like it. We just have to find one in town so that we don't have to wait for shipping.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Discontinued my ass. I can buy them online.
I know.
All right, so we're pivoting. We cannot get the part that looks close to the stock part today, so we're just gonna make it work right now because we're on a tight deadline here. So what we're gonna do is Sandro is shaving down this bolt. We're gonna plug it into this pipe and flare it out a little bit so that we can use a legitimate fuel pump sock. Yeah, I think it's in. Oh yeah, that's in.
All right, so we got the filter in there.
Yep.
The lines are clean.
Yep.
So now the next step is putting everything back. So we're gonna fold all this bad boy and fill it in with brass.
That fits mine. Fits way better than it fits you.
All right, right there where you have it. I'm gonna hit. This job, if a customer will bring it, I don't think anybody will want to pay me for this. They'll be like, Sandro, are you gonna charge that much? I'll be like, do you love that tank that much? But I got love for that man right there. The only reason you do type of work like this is like if you can't find the part.
Exactly.
But if not, it's not even worth it. Straight up, go buy yourself another tank.
Oh yeah.
And get
Yeah,
it.
if I could have bought a tank, we wouldn't be here.
We
right
wouldn't
now.
be here.
We'd be driving the car, sipping whatever we
chilling.
want.
And we'll be driving that car.
I'll drink it.
You gotta clog them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, little tank.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, man. The tank is sealed.
Camera guy.
Car might drive by tomorrow. All right, so our plan now is to take the night off. And then tomorrow, we'll get that gas tank back in the car for the first time in like 3 months. Whew. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Today's the day. Gas tank's done. I gotta paint it a little bit so it doesn't rust through, put it in the car, get the damn thing running, finish the front suspension, and go drive it. I'm so excited. Hopefully nothing else pops up, but this is gonna be great. It's already started to flash rust a little bit. All right, light coats.
It doesn't make a difference. Wait. What are you trying to?
I'm just gonna lift the hub. Ready?
Yep. Oh! Woo! Bravo, Justin, bravo.
Someone in the comments is gonna be like, why didn't you clean all the gunk under there and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I would rather enjoy my car while it's working than worry about someone judging me for the underside of it.
At this point, the gunk is what's holding it together. So. How do we do this?
A lot more stress. There we go.
All right, dude. Nice job. Yeah. Hopefully this thing doesn't come shooting out.
You just at it, it's good.
There's nothing the boys can't do.
This right here, this cylinder looking thing is actually my fuel level sensor. Since it's an external pump, it uses this cylinder with a plunger inside to measure how much fuel is inside the gas tank. The one I pulled out of this looked awful. So I actually had to find this one from a guy on Facebook who bought a bunch of them 15 years ago. He was happy enough to test this one and send it to me for $375. All right, so I got all the tank components back on and in the tank.
And I'm done with the suspension.
Okay, so all we're waiting on is fuel, and then I'll hook this up on the ground and see if the car starts. I think I put about a gallon in. Let's see what happens. Okay. Mr. Zachary Diehl, would you like to do the honors?
Sure. I didn't realize I was allowed to.
You helped me.
Without on the clutch?
Off clutch, turn it. There we go. I hear it sucking.
Ready? Hell yeah.
Why'd it turn off?
I don't know.
So I'm looking at the fuel pump, looking for any leaks or kinked lines, and voila, here's a kinked line. That's pretty bad. So I need to pull this box off, the fuel pump will come down, and then I'll take this butterfly clip off, lop it. I'm so close. Mistakes from an earlier Justin. You'll be able to see it shoot out. Stop. We got pressure.
Okay, buddy. How's it feel? You're driving your car.
Hey, now I can celebrate. I'm happy now.
Is this all-wheel drive?
It's rear-wheel drive.
The front ones are spinning too.
No, they're not. Shut up.
It sounds healthy.
Sounds
really
great.
healthy, yeah.
Will it pass smog? I don't know, but it's running. All right, so now all we have to do is get the fuel tank in, shorten those fuel lines, seal everything up, put the car on the ground. Oh, Zach, do the sway bar and links. Yes.
Justin has to do that part.
No, you do it.
Fuck, I don't want to do these.
Divide and conquer, guy.
Who?
Divide and conquer.
I've never even heard of that guy.
All right, so now that the tank is inside the car, I'm gonna cut my fuel lines to the correct length, make sure the tank's not binding with anything against the body, tie in the filler neck, and then we're done. And I'll tighten it up. Car should be fine.
Me, man. Woo! This is the worst sway bar end link I've ever done.
I am putting it in the wrong way, but
it's going so great.
We're done.
That's it. You just gotta put the wheel back on.
Let's get this thing on the ground, yeah?
Let her down real nice and slow.
Woo!
Whoa!
That's way lower.
Those lowering springs look good.
Oh, man.
I think you need a little more stancy on this. But...
we have spacers at the office. You ready to drive this thing? Stop. All right, the car's on the ground. Lowering springs look sick. There's gas and seafoam in the tank. It's time to drive this thing for the first time. Hopefully, the clutch works. To the trailer. Yeah, we get to drive it on the trailer now because it's still not road legal. Success! Oh, God. What is that noise? You hear that?
Is it your fuel pump?
Is that my fuel pump?
Pretty loud.
Screaming? Oh. Oh, my perfect interior. Since I lowered the car, it now sits below the rails and I have to Dukes a hazard out the window in order to get out. But the car's on the trailer. Now all I have to do is make sure the registration is all good, properly get this thing smogged, and then we can drive it. Now, normally this process would be relatively straightforward. You get the title, you get the registration, you put some insurance on that bad boy, and voila, we're legally cruising down the road in our little 80s wedge car, right? That's what we want, yeah, it's perfect. But guess what? It wasn't that simple for this car. First, the previous owner lost the title, and that's okay. That's actually not that hard to deal with. It just naturally fell out of the state records. But in 2013, the previous owner decided to make an inquiry at the DMV about what it would take to get the car legally on the road again. This put the Impulse back into the state records. The state then told the previous owner that he would need to pay some fees to get the car re-registered. The previous owner decided he didn't want to do that. But just because he didn't want to go through with it doesn't mean that California just kind of forgets about it. They still want those fees. They gotta make that money. This turned what would have been a 15-minute process into a 7-hour-long process with multiple days. So we brought in the big guns. That's Rico from Performance Registration, a guy who helps solve complicated title and registration issues here in California. And if it weren't for Rico, we might still be hanging out with our little wedge in the driveway. After many hours and personal visits to the DMV, Rico was finally able to get the $800 fee waived by the state on account of the fact the vehicle had not actually been registered in 2013 and therefore was not subject to these fees. He acquired the title and the registration, which left us with the simple task of getting insurance for the car, which took 2 seconds, and a smog certificate. And that's pretty simple, and the Impulse passed smog with flying colors. Somewhere between the beginning of this episode and now, you probably wondered why I'm putting a bunch of work into an old car that not many people have ever heard about, let alone care about. But I care about it because of those reasons. Growing up as a twin, it's very hard to set yourself apart. I mean, there's literally another guy on this earth that is an exact copy of me. So growing up, I tended to gravitate towards cars that were exceptionally unique, like this one. And much like my relationship with this car is unique, so is my relationship with my best friend, Zach. Zach and I bought this car together. He helped me pick it up, bring it home, he helped me fix it and get it running again, and he helped me make this very video. So when you ask me, why this car? It's because it's different and it means something to me. And your love for a car doesn't really need to be anything more than that. It runs and it drives. Yay. Thank you guys so much for watching and following along with this adventure. Thank you to Zach. Check him out at Zach Diehl for helping me and everything. Thank you so much to Sandro and Miranda's shop for welding that tank up. Isuzu's Facebook group. They helped me source parts. Impulsive Waffles for helping me source parts. Jimmy and his Japanese contacts for helping me source parts. I've got a lot of big ideas for this car, and obviously I can't buy any parts for it, so that means only one thing: it has to be custom. If you want to see that, make sure you let us know down in the comments so that I can keep building my car on the channel.
And I can keep getting recruited to work on it. Great. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been a Donut production.
Shut up.